We know, I mean, during the pandemic, the restaurant business was hit really hard. And this is a company that stayed on their feet. They were able to help their employees, and now we're getting open again. And this is one of their newest locations here in Doral.
What's so funny, I think when we're talking about Hispanics, they think all Hispanics are the same. And the best way to explain that isn't true is the food. I mean, you can't really compare Mexican food to Cuban food to Venezuelan food. So it's going to be really interesting to talk to them. I obviously am a little biased. I think Mexican food is the best out of the Latino culture, right? But really interested to differentiate even the cultures of food from Cuban and Mexican. So I'm excited to have that kind of conversation.
Now let's go check it out.
Let's go.
All right.
Hola amigos, I am here in South Florida with my good friend Eden, and she is the owner of Las Vegas Cuban Cuisine. So thank you so much for spending the afternoon with us.
My pleasure.
Really excited. Hey, Jar and I have been talking about this all day, getting to have a good Cuban meal here with us. But I want to know a little bit about your story, a little bit about the restaurant. You have how many restaurants now?
We have over a dozen.
Over a dozen. Okay, so tell me kind of how you started in this business and what it means to be a Latina business owner.
Well, it fills us with pride because it's not an easy feat. You have a lot of commitments week in and week out, and every day is a good day to fail, so you have to work twice as hard to succeed. We're from the countryside originally in Cuba, so it's not we didn't study to become in the hospitality field. We're something that we had to do out of necessity. Back in 1984, about 4 short years after we arrived from Cuba during the Mariel Exodus. And so we just learned through the ropes and the hard knocks of life. It was customer service, fresh food in a clean, friendly atmosphere. And we saw the return of customers. In about a year's time, our restaurant became known as the Cuban hotspot in Hollywood, Florida. And we just started turnkey operations from there. And we grew from 28 chairs to over 1,400 chairs in the last 3 decades. It's a family-owned and operated business. We're 5 sisters. All women owned and operated alongside my parents, and so we're very proud of the success that we've accomplished throughout the last 36 years, because about 90% of restaurants eventually fail. And so we have a pretty good track record of success, and we've come through with our commitments throughout the last 36 years, and that's a great point of pride for me.
90% of restaurants fail, and that's not even throwing in, John was talking about earlier, that's not throwing in a pandemic. You guys survived a pandemic. How was going through that like?
It was very scary because after 36 years, my father's 84, my mom is 80, and we wanted them to know that they had done something for us and had provided a great future, a stable future in the country that we deemed is the most stable economy and political stable country in the world. And all of a sudden we see all these changes occurring socially and economically, and obviously we were very concerned for the well-being and the continuation of our family and our economy.
Wow, and I think this past 2020 election cycle, kind of shifting gears a little bit, we saw a record amount of women running for conservative office positions. You were one of them.
I was.
So what made you go from business owner to now political candidate? What was that?
Because of my history, my father was a political prisoner, and the fact that I came to this country at such a young age, now being a mother, I want to conserve this country for my daughter and future generations. I don't want my daughter to have to emigrate to another country. My grandfather immigrated to Spain, my parents immigrated from Cuba to the United States. I would like my daughter to be able to have her children and grandchildren in this country as well.
Wow. Jeremy?
So we also were talking about just the importance of family. You all are 5 sisters running now a franchise. How do you continue to teach your children why it's so important to lean on family, work with family, but also run a business with family? Is that something you see them interested in now?
Well, I definitely try, absolutely. My nieces and daughter, I hope, whether they want to stay in the business or build one of their own, we try to teach them the value of hard work, of honesty, of dedication, perseverance, sacrifice, Those are not trendy values. Those are lifelong values that have to continue to be the core part of society and of family in order to conserve what has made this country what it is and will continue to be. And that all starts with the family. And that's the importance of family is the first school for our kids. So I can't wait for a teacher to teach my daughter that. I have to teach her that not only through my words, but through my deeds.
Right. Yeah. So we were talking a little earlier about this. Leftist policies have pretty much ruined beautiful states like New York and California, with the result being many people, particularly many Hispanics, moving down to states like Florida.
I just hope they don't vote blue when they get down here.
What would your recommendation to someone moving into Florida, particularly South Florida, what would your recommendation be to them if they want to get politically involved? Like, what are some of the things that they should know about Florida?
They should learn about our history. What are the values that have made this country the exception and what has drawn millions of people worldwide to this country? Why do people come here and not the other way around? It's not only about what government can do for you, it's what you can do, as JFK said, for our country. What are the values that have made this country the best country in the world and has taken so many people out of poverty? That's what we should be looking to do. And vote for family. Vote for our country, not vote for government. Government is not the solution. The solution is less government so that we can do more for ourselves and not have anybody do for you. But because anything anybody could do for you, they can also take from you. The idea is, let's work hard, let me create my economy, but let me also keep it.
Wow. I think when you piggybacking off that, Latinos are very, very entrepreneur minded because they know exactly what it means when government gets so big that they decide what your future looks like, right? So I think Latinos, all they ask for is an open economy, a pro-growth, business growth, elected officials. So when you are talking to young Hispanics about who they should be looking into, like voting at the ballot box, what are some of the values that they should be looking into some of these candidates running for office?
That they haven't been in office for a long time.
That's good.
Somebody who has not become rich off of office. Somebody that has created something out of office and is now looking to get into office to contribute to the society that they have benefited from. We need to stop voting for politicians and voting for public service men and women.
I love it. And it blows my mind how being pro-business has now become so partisan, right? Like you have elected officials today saying and encouraging people not to go out and work, getting benefits from the government. Like being pro-business shouldn't be a partisan thing. It should be an American thing.
Well, historically it was.
Historically it was. But right now you see kind of certain candidates from a certain party only being pro-business, right? How has Florida now being completely open, right? How has that benefited your business personally?
The proof is in the pudding. Our economy is booming. We're doing record numbers in our business. I would only hope that the government stops dishing out money so people can go back to the values. Again, it goes back to the values every single time. It's the core, it's the essence and the foundation of our society. They're chipping away at our values, even our work ethic, because then they can make people malleable. And that goes against the stability and the future of our country. So really, don't ask for freeze. There's nothing free in life. Let me work so I can keep what I've earned, and let me be the captain of my ship. I don't need somebody in Washington or in Tallahassee to put barriers or limits or parameters as to what I can achieve in life. That's the greatness of this country. The sky's the limit, and sometimes not even then.
I love it.
Well, that's great. Thank you for the Bienvenido here in Las Vegas.
Thank you.
Las Vegas.
Yeah,
Aquí en Miami.
I have something to add. So to kind of wrap up, from 2016 to pre-pandemic, over 1 million Latinas entered the workforce. I mean, we're talking about record number of Latinas going out, getting a job, starting a business. What kind of advice would you give like a young Latina right now listening to you, eager to start a business but doesn't know what the first steps are to take on that job?
Well, seek out mentors, seek out other business women that have been able to be successful, but also believe in yourself. I think that speaks to the grandiosity of this country. We are a country definitely that is pro-immigrant. but we are a country of laws, and we're pro-women. I think there's no other country in the world that a woman can come here, whether being a single mother or an immigrant or in whatever fashion, and in a year's time accomplish the things that you can accomplish in this great nation. And I think that we don't celebrate that enough. This country, it doesn't matter if you're tall, short, black, white, Hispanic, female, male, apolitical, you set the boundaries for yourself. That's the greatness of this.
I love it. And we talk so much about what makes America great, and I think your story is what makes America great. Single mom being able to grow something, and this story, I love that you came from Cuba and were able to make your dreams a reality because you live in America. That's phenomenal.
I think America makes us great. America makes us great because we could have gone to Venezuela and had lost everything.
Wow.
And so I always say we celebrate Hispanic heritage, Black heritage, all these heritage. Why don't we celebrate American heritage?
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, muchas gracias, amiga. It's a pleasure being here with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.